Welcome back to another episode of Community Capital. My name is Rob Johnson. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in studio is John Albin. He is the Vice President of Michigan Clearwater. John, welcome to the studio.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right. So Michigan Clearwater, if someone if you were at a networking event and asked you, what do you guys do? What is the elevator pitch for your company?
Yeah, we provide bottleless water coolers for the office. They're an excellent alternative to traditional delivery services like 5-gallon jugs, or maybe some water coolers that have been in place for a while that maybe don't do what some of our products do. And if your company is looking to upgrade from regular tap water, which we know there's a lot of things that could be in it, Michigan Clearwater can provide a bottleless water cooler system that purifies your existing water source.
So when did the company start?
2016. February 2016.
What prompted the start?
So some guys reached out to me, right, and brought this business idea to start a water business like ours is today. So bottleless water cooler. At the time, I was in the office equipment industry working for a company called Rico Business Solutions. Had been there 18 years in sales management and all kinds of roles there. So I was intrigued because they're talking about business ownership, the opportunity to be a part of something. I also had a 3-month-old at home. So the idea of starting something brand new was difficult, right? So
Was it terrifying a little bit?
it was terrifying, right? And really, I maybe I wasn't even that serious about it, right? But I took them up on it. I sat with them and they grilled me for a really long time to understand who I was and if I might be a good fit to start this business with them.
What made them approach you?
They were also from the office equipment industry.
Oh, okay.
Years before.
Got it.
So like when I say years before, early 90s, right?
Okay.
So around the time that I started, they were leaving that industry.
Yeah,
So
their leading technology was fax machines.
correct. Right. So,
Got it.
So they had reached out to some people, common contacts that they knew.
Okay.
So they referred them to me. Thank God. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to do market research. I had to, really decide if we could, be an alternative to plastic in your office to provide something that is better. So I knock on doors. What do you guys do for water? Who would be the best point of contact? Would you be interested in a bottle solution like this? So I just went out and did that. I thought, I think this is something that we can build and that we can start. So long story short, we took the jump. I had 2 other kids and a 3-month-old and said, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Thankfully, my wife believes in me probably more than I do. So we did it, and here we are.
So February of 2016,
Yeah.
we're sitting here just over 10 years later.
Yeah.
So what was that growth trajectory like for the company?
It's hard, right? You look back at the beginning and we had nothing else to do but go knock on doors, go call people, and try to make a name for yourself. So it's hard, but it's easy. You have no other distractions. You have to hire technicians that can install it and take care of it. And you have to hire salespeople that are going to do the sales part of it. So I would say really over the first 5 years, it's difficult because you're getting a lot of rejections, you're getting a lot of no's, but there's successes every week and there's successes every month too. If we're doing our jobs and we're working hard.
Yeah. So basically, if you have a company who's largely depending on whether it's tap water or bottled water, you'll come in there and run. Is it like a purification system that runs off of their water supply that ports to a machine?
Correct.
Is that largely it?
Yeah, that's largely it. So when we call on a business today, we knock on a door and say we're Michigan Clearwater. We provide bottleless water solutions for the office. What are you guys doing for water? It's really a combination of 3 or 4 things. They're getting a delivery service, an Absorpure, Culligan, somebody like that, with a 5-gallon jug. They're using a water cooler that's maybe similar to ours, but different. Maybe it doesn't offer the same level of purification and technology. They're using a drinking fountain and tap water. Or we have plenty of customers that are still providing these in our fridge.
Yeah.
So that's 4 or 5 different ways that people are providing water. So in every one of those cases, we think we can provide something that's superior for the employee, superior for the bottom line, for for the business owners that are buying the solutions.
Yeah.
Yes, and so we connect directly to a water line, purified water, but also additives, including vitamins, minerals, and electrolytes, to provide a fully alkaline supply of water.
So what is the maintenance upkeep?
Yeah.
So how often is maintenance performed on that device?
Yep. So we provide all maintenance is included in our base rental agreements. So we provide an annual maintenance visit automatically, and all of that is included.
Okay.
But anything happens in between that period of time, no water's coming out, hot water isn't available. All of those service calls are included, right? So, but we do provide one annual service call that has a full filter replenishment as well.
So going back to 2016 and then looking at your role now, how has that changed in the last 10 years?
Yeah, so much, right? So when I first started the business, I was doing everything, right? So I was a full-time sales rep, right? A full-time sales manager, a full-time operations manager, right? Teaching service technicians how to install machines, and we're all kind of, learning how to fix them. So over that 10-year period, it completely changed, which kind of prompts a lot of changes that we've made in our business too. The responsibilities change. Now we're taking care of a whole lot more customer issues, customers that are wanting more things. So the phone rings. When we first started, we make a website, the phone doesn't ring. It's really not that important to have someone there manning it and taking care of all of those incoming calls. So we've had to think about how we're going to scale the business. So recently we've hired a VP of sales that can really, like we did when we first started, that we can really focus on growing the business with a sales team. Because with all the things that are happening today, I don't have the same bandwidth to do all of those things that I did then.
That makes sense. And I would imagine that when you guys ran into the pandemic period, that probably changed some things as well.
Yeah, it really did. It was a really difficult time, being a small business, and really we weren't at our 5-year period yet, right? So, I mean, we're only as productive as what we find every month at that point in time. So if it wasn't for the federal programs that existed, I don't know if we would have made it. Yeah. Now, Michigan's unique. We're heavily manufacturing centric. So we were able to pivot and focus on essential businesses. We also did a lot more residential work then to keep the business running. Yeah. But if it wasn't for the federal programs, not only for checks, right? Yeah. But all the programs for unemployment and work share programs for our employees, I'm not sure we would have made it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a hard part too. Like when essentially everyone's leaving and the offices are closed, and that's your main line of business.
I was building things, wood projects, right, on the weekend to make ends meet, while running the business, Monday to Friday. It was challenging times, but, I think like everybody else, if you work hard, you can do it. You can make it. I think we did.
Yeah, and I think that also builds a lot of resolve in entrepreneurs during that time as well, because a lot of people had to shift and pivot and do something different and try something in an adjacent market to what they were used to. And I think that helps in the long run because it gives you more situational awareness when things, hopefully something like that doesn't happen again in my lifetime, but it gives you more situational awareness for a crisis in general.
Right. And it really makes you understand what you're good at. Right. Yeah. And I think more than anything else, we definitely learned that. Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So what is the business looking to do in the next 3 to 5 years from a growth standpoint?
Yeah. So right now we cover basically I would say the entire state of Michigan, but we want to have better coverage outside of maybe the southeastern quadrant of Michigan. We want a sales rep in Grand Rapids, right, in a building in Grand Rapids, and to grow the sales team here in Michigan. Like I said, we're really at the very beginning of that. Just hiring a VP of sales in the last month, really in the last 2 weeks. Yeah. So we're really at the beginning of that. So Mostly it's sales, right? We have to grow our business, but the challenge is, while growing the business, maintain that same level of customer satisfaction with over 100 5-star Google reviews. I think we've made a really good brand and developed a good brand, and we take care of our customers very well. So the challenge is going to be, as we ramp up sales growth, to maintain that same level of customer service.
So there are a lot of business owners that listen to this podcast. So if they have an office and they want to get the process started, what is the best way for them to do that?
Call us, right? So give us a call. There's a request information tab on our website. Send us an email. The best way for us to talk about this product is to be there in person, which also made it difficult during COVID too,
sure, yeah.
WebExes and everything else.
Yeah.
But we need to be in front of you to help explain how this is gonna connect to your water system and work in your office, and really with the full lineup of bottleless water coolers, from smaller offices to commercial ice machines and everything in the middle. It's a customized solution for your office. So we need to spend 10 to 15 minutes with you, talk about our products, and really provide you all the information that you need to make a good decision.
And then from the time that someone says, all right, I'm in, what is a typical implementation time?
We could be there tomorrow, right? And I think that is a really benefit to a small and local business, without calling a 1-800 number and getting bounced to somewhere else. So you call us, you get me, you get my office manager. I have one of my sales reps there either that day or the following day. And if you make a decision on a free trial, we could be there the day after that. Nice. To the longest window that we would probably ever have is a week before we'd be able to get something in.
I like that. So last question, John. So
Sure.
When you look at the last 10 years, what's one of the most unexpected and rewarding aspects of the business?
I would say owning your own business is more like a family than it is working for a big corporation. I always worked for a big company before I started here. So it was a huge adjustment when I first started, right? All the responsibilities and the hiring and all of the things. But as time went on, certainly that changes. I never want to go work for a big company again. Hopefully I never have to.
Yeah.
But you're focused on making sure everybody else has a paycheck and everybody else has work to do, right? And as salespeople, when we started the business, we had to do that. So that's more like a family than it is a big corporation. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense.
So that drives the business more than somebody saying, do this or do that.
Yeah, it's a lot more personal and relational than it is cold and clinical, which is sometimes how corporate America is represented.
Yeah.
So I get that. No, that totally makes sense. Anything else you want the listeners to know about the business before we close today, John?
Not that I can think of. I think
right.
you asked good questions for me.
Very good. What we'll do is we'll make sure all of the links, the website, everything that someone can find you is in the show notes of this episode. So if they want to reach out and get rolling, they can.
It'll be awesome. We'll look forward to it.
Thanks so much.
You bet.
All right, everyone, that's going to wrap up this week's edition of Community Capital. We certainly appreciate you watching. If you want to learn more about what's going on at the Chamber, be sure to follow along at the Chamber's website as well as their YouTube channel. Apart from that, we'll catch you next week with a new show. Take care.